Am I the asshole for going home when my wife didn't let me in the delivery room? I, 28-year-old male, and my wife, 29-year-old female, gave birth a few days ago. We had what I believe to be a fairly standard pregnancy, and I did my best to take care of things and make it easy for her. I took her to the hospital when she was due, and her sister and mother met us there. Cool. The problem started when she was taken to the delivery room. She asked the nurse that only her mother and sister be allowed in the delivery, and then told me she wanted me to wait until I've delivered and calmed down before letting me in the room. I was shocked, and I didn't want to make a scene, but I said okay and sat down in the waiting room. We had not really discussed the plan for the hospital, but I had no reason to think I wouldn't be there when my son was born. I texted her sister if she knew my wife was going to do this, and she said no. I told her that to ask my wife if she was concerned about something because I don't consider myself someone who would make a fuss or make things difficult for her. She texted back saying that my wife just doesn't want you to see her like this, and then added that she didn't agree with my wife and tried to convince her to let me in, but ultimately it was my wife's choice and I should respect it. I sat down in the waiting room for 6 hours getting minimal updates as the labor was fairly slow, and I decided there was no point, so I texted my sister and told her I was going home. I'd meet my son when they brought him and handle from the birth certificate stuff the next day. Oh, and handle the birth certificate stuff the next day. Okay. I came home. 9 hours later, I was finally able to meet my son. When my wife's mother and sister left, they got angry at me for leaving her at the hospital. But I was angry too, and I told her that we can talk about it in a few days because she's just given birth. She wouldn't drop the subject, and finally I told her that she excluded me from the birth of my son for no reason. I didn't see the need to hang around the hospital waiting room for hours doing nothing, and then even her own sister thinks that what she did was wrong. She said there was no complications, that I needed to be there, to which I replied there wouldn't have been there because she kept me out of the room and the doctors would have handled any problems anyway. She called me an inconsiderate asshole and has been talking short with me for several days. Her sister told me I should apologize and move past it because it was stressful for my wife, but I think I'm owed a bigger apology because I was excluded from my son's birth. So, who's the asshole here?
There's some information we don't have. I wish I'd like usually this is something that's like thoroughly discussed, you know, that you're going to be there. You have the music in your pockets, right? You've got the fancy pillow, you know, they've done the Lamaze thing together. Like usually it's known beforehand that like
usually you pretend you're not going to take any painkillers and then you do. That's the process.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. Yeah. No epidural. Give it to me.
And so I wish I'd known that. But I
well, he said that he had no reason to think he would be excluded from the delivery.
Yeah.
So I inferred
but did he have any reason to know that he would be included? That's what's important, I think. Now I don't think there's anything wrong with her excluding him. And I don't even like it being phrased that way. It's a super rough thing they're going through. Most like I don't know what the percentage of them that shit themselves is, but it's very high.
100.
Close to 100.
After this little event that we're doing in here, I'm putting myself in the lady's shoes. I would like to maybe have a romantic life with my husband afterwards that doesn't involve him having the image of my vagina 50 centimeters dilated or whatever, and me shitting myself. And oh man, I wish last night hadn't been taco night too. Like, you know what I mean? Like it could come down to that. It could, and I would understand that. It's because it's not that she wanted her mom and her sister there, because moms and sisters are perfectly fine with seeing each other's vaginas explode and shit
probably
themselves.
all given birth.
They've all shit themselves before. She's part of the club now. So like I definitely get that. Now, whether or not it's okay, it's not okay for him to leave, and here's why. She could have died. Women die in childbirth. She could have fucking died. He can't leave. He should have stopped pouting, because as much as he feels wronged, she's the one with a human being coming out of her right now with her hormones in no man's land, literally. And like you got to just realize that you might not even be negotiating with your wife right now. That lady in there is the birth giver. Your wife will be back in a day or two. Right now, you need to like negotiate with the birth giver.
Yeah, prioritize whatever she feels she needs.
And sit out here in case a doctor comes and says, your wife or your son who lives, you dumbass, because it might happen like that. Like he should have stayed. He should have stood by his lady and waited on his son to be born. And whenever she was ready for him to see it, like that feels like the traditional thing to me as well. That doesn't even seem like some like froofy new age thing, like girl power. I have my babies alone. It's like, that seems like the traditional thing. Every time I see an old movie, the dude's out there waiting in the lobby.
Don Draper
Old
did
movie.
it. I'm so surprised. Like, I didn't know 100% what your take was going to be. I agree 1,000,000% with everything you said. The guy, it is not your time. You need to realize the stress her body and mind is going under. You need to kind of take a back seat. If she wants you in there, be in there. Like, my wife has told me, like, she wants me in there when she gives birth, if we have kids. And I was
6
like,
months
okay,
from now.
that's fine. I'm good with that.
What about me? Where's she at?
She said she wants you to be the poop
I've got a headlamp and everything. This is going to work out so well.
Going spelunking. Yeah, but
I've never done an
totally
episiotomy before, but I'm very inexpensive, so just consider the offer.
I will. I'll take advantage of it. Well, listen to this. I know internet guys who can. How many subs does that idiot doctor have on YouTube? None. He's too busy saving lives. Wow. Like,
yeah, big
no,
deal.
but
Can he tell dick jokes?
That guy is definitely in the wrong. And I come down the same thing with going home. The going home thing is the thing that puts it over the limit. Like, he should have just fucking sat there. What, you're gonna sit at home on your phone thinking about your wife giving birth the entire time? Like, what do you think? That this fucking if this dumbass unironically went home and like started playing League of Legends, fuck him. Like, seriously, like he's gonna go home and obsess over it. It almost seems petty. I'm not wanted here. I'm not wanted here. I'm gonna go home. It's not about you bitch. She's giving birth right now. Be a little selfless. So yeah, that guy's a bitch and I don't like him.
Anybody ever calls us sexist, give him this clip, please. We mean it.
Yes, and don't pay attention to the total scales of. But yeah, I'm 100% on board, Kyle. I think you're totally right.
Yeah,
I wish there was an easy way to see. There's a bot that like counts up here. In my opinion, this is the cheat, so I won't stay here. Everybody sucks here is one of the choices, and that's where I land. But before you guys went, I would have said she sucks more. You kind of won me over, but I was like, she excluded him from the birth of his son. He had no reason to. She just said like, no, hubby, this is like, fuck you on the day of the birth, like their first kid. And she just went all fuck you to her husband. Like, how dare she? How dare she? Like this was a joint effort. Did she do that during the conception too? No, this is all about me. Like, fucking bitch. You can't just kick your husband out as if it's. But you guys are like, yeah, she's like, I don't know. I still feel like his right, I'll put it, to witness the birth and to be there and such overrides her modesty, because that's what it is, right?
Let me help you one further.
Okay.
I would argue that a woman's hormones in the day of her birth might be almost akin to when someone is coming out of getting the root canal and they're a little loopy and you can and they think their tongue has fallen out of their head. They're so out of it.
Oh, like the Charlie.
I don't think you judge those. It's always like a kind of cute blonde girl who's about 20 years old too, who's getting a root canal done and like with a bloody mouth. That's the only person I've never seen, like a big old fat black dude like oh shit, son, what's this? Like, that's never happened once. It's always just a little cute blonde girl, but like, I don't judge her for any shit she might say when she's all fucked up. And like I just don't think you're negotiating with your wife anymore. That's why I use that phrase, the birth giver. Like this is a different person. She's been taken over by another being. And it's almost true because like the way our bodies work hormonally, and I, I'm someone who knows a little bit about hormones moving around. Like I feel like a totally different person than I did 3 or 4 years ago. I got a lot of energy all the time, and I'm real positive about things, and I don't get down. I feel great, and I've seen women like during mad swings of their hormones from birth control or just like life or whatever. Like, just be different people. Be different people to the level of like borderline. It's like a split personality thing. And there was a time when I was like maybe 23 or 24 where I'd be like, that crazy bitch. And but I grew up and realized that like, that's like how human beings are just wired. And now I get it. And I try to be really understanding, like when somebody's got that stuff going on.
Hormones are powerful stuff.
They don't mean what they're saying. And if they, and the other thing is like, just because that she's like all jacked up on her hormones doesn't mean that like how she's feeling in that moment isn't like relevant still and important. Like that's still your wife. That's just a different version of her. And we got to respect how things are feeling for her.
And she's going through a traumatic endeavor right now.
I'd rather get hit by a goddamn car than give birth to a baby.
You're winning me over. Your arguments are very persuasive. Like I acknowledge that. I still feel like it was very selfish to put her modesty above his witnessing.
That's me guessing as well about the modesty.
Yeah.
I don't think that you're necessarily guessing that much with it. Like, I know because all my female friends are like, well, most of them are having kids. Like, it's not like I know we joked about the like pooing your pants thing or your lack of pants. Like, it is embarrassing for them. Like, they don't want their husband or boyfriend to see them covered in shit.
The other way,
like, and so they really do have a mentality. Yeah,
the hospital staff is so professional and used to seeing it that they create an environment where it's just like quick wipe, move on, everything's fine. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm sure this is,
and of course that's
I
the
bet there's a
story
drop-off
that you get third party. Of course, no one's going to be like, oh yeah, Woody, when they poop themselves, it's a fucking shit show, literally. because now, hey, guess where we are? An operating room. Guess what? All of the sterilized equipment and people are now covered in shit. Guess what has to happen now? It all has to be replaced. When? Right fucking now it does. Oh, wait, there's more shit. How many sets of gear do we have? Like, I bet that's the real story behind it. And oh, guess what? Her smelled extra bad. What does your wife eat?
You might be right. You might be right. I feel like she's an asshole, though, because she put her modesty above him witnessing the birth of his son, and he might have wanted to see that. He might have, and he wanted to help her. And I don't like that she's like, no. In my real moment of need, I'm going to my mom and my sister. My husband's like somewhere down the list.
I like the idea of like
that makes so much sense to go to your mom and your sister for this girl thing. I just picture every movie where like the woman's been like shot in the pussy or whatever. Like she's got some woman trouble, and like the mom or like the sister or somebody's like, this is woman shit, and like pushes the man out and closes the door, and he's just got to sit out there wringing his fists. And it's like, yeah, that's how it should be. They're operating on her vagina for some or doing something crazy with her butthole in there. You don't need to see that because after this, you might want to be attracted to her vagina and butthole, and it might be best that you didn't see it all exploded out and stuff.
I mean, I'm putting myself in the shoes of the audience member. I think you won this debate because you've almost turned me, but I keep circling back to your modesty. Your modesty is why your husband was downgraded to third at best place for your support system. Your modesty is why your husband's sitting in the waiting room for 6 hours, wondering how it's going with infrequent updates. Like, you put your modesty above fucking everything having to do with him. And he's hurt. He's hurt days later. He's upset that this once in a lifetime experience to see his son born was robbed from him. This isn't nothing. And her modesty went above all of that. That's the most important thing to her. Like, chick, you're selfish.
I think that there's probably a lot more to it than just the modesty aspect. Like, you don't go into that fully sane, you know, like your hormones are fucked. You're about to get put on powerful drugs. It's her first kid. She doesn't know. She's probably embarrassed. Like, given the situation, the guy has
Woody's
to,
taking the L here. It's over. Don't worry.
The guy has to,
okay. You're just reiterating all of the perfect points we already made. Like, I was like, no, we got this. We're good.
We got it. We got this tied up.
It's 37-3. I mean,
we're making the playoffs here.
I'll call it a draw if we can move on. But
I wanted to say one more thing. I was thinking how funny it would be, like, a doctor who helps give birth, like, he comes in and he sees her pooping and his response is like, biggest day of your life, and this is how you behave. Come back when you're ready to get serious about this. And then just like leaves, like, shitting in my office.
When you look back on the day your son was born, do you want to remember a day that smells like shit and shame? I'm gonna go back out there and I'm gonna talk to your husband, man to man. And
your son is 7 pounds 5 ounces, and your wife weighs 30 pounds less than when she went in.
no.
Is this one of those zoo hospitals? What's that big bucket? You taking care of a rhino in there?
He just comes back at, sir. It turns out she was just constipated. That was not a pregnancy at all.
How long has your wife been eating grass?
Only poo. That was 12 hours of shitting, sir.
It was 9 months of PF Chang's. Yeah, that was a good question. I liked that, but I definitely
it turned out to be a good one. I did.
No,
sometimes you don't know what the topics
answers.
are going to be. That's it. The topics are empty canvases.
That's true.
In a minute. Didn't you have a Am I the Asshole with a massage thing?
Yeah. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I, a 24-year-old female, am trying to schedule a spa day as I have some gift cards to use. I called the spa to schedule my package, and after setting up, I requested to only have a female for my massage and facial. The receptionist got snappy and told me the massage I wanted was only provided by a male therapist. I told her I wouldn't be comfortable with that and would have to look at other packages where I could have a female massage therapist. She quickly got defensive, explaining that there's nothing wrong with having a male massage therapist. He's been in this business for 20 years. I'm sure he's great at the job, and he's a nice guy with no bad intentions, but I'm paying a lot of money to be relaxed and comfortable, and being naked while a man rubs me down is not my idea of a stress-free experience. She basically said I was sexist towards male massage therapists, and I told her I would be calling back to reschedule with a female. Am I being the asshole for refusing to use a male massage therapist?
Man, some of these Reddit people are just throwing the bait out there, and everybody's just grabbing it and running. Come on, Of course he's not the asshole. This is one of those things that's so well known that everyone has preferences, and that most men prefer a woman, and most women prefer a woman as well. Mm-hmm. Like that's the truth across the board.
Yeah,
like it's got to be rough out there for male masseuses, but I'm sorry, dude. We're like making ourselves vulnerable, and you are not a fucking doctor. You are a muscle rubber. All right. I don't know how long it took you to get your sticker certificate or like whatever, like your ribbon, but like
go back to Jack.
It would take. Look, if you're such a low level professional that it would take longer to get like a blue belt at a real school, then like I'm not getting naked in front of you and trusting you and stuff. And I don't want dude rubbing me anyway. Like every time I've gotten massage, it's like, yeah, I want a woman, and it's never been sexual or awkward or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But I just felt a lot more comfortable like with a woman than I would with a dude. And it's like a well-known thing that everyone has that same preference. And some people might just be like, I'm sure there are athletes who are like, I need a man to get back there. Those aren't normal muscles. Those are professional fucking athlete muscles. That's a $64 million ass. Each cheek, 32 mil. And those are my haunches.
You don't want little girly hands. An O lineman, the muscle is 3 inches deep behind that adipose tissue. You need strong hands to get it. It's like a guy who's working with a bucket of rice every day. That's what you need.
And if I was real fucked up and like a woman wasn't cutting it, I could see going to a man. But I've never had female masseuses' hands.
If a woman,
their hands are stronger than mine. Like I don't want to get into like one of those like a handshake contest with a female masseuse. She'll fuck me up.
All professional masseuses, male or female, are too strong. Quite frankly, they're like, do you want it really hard? No, I've gotten that question wrong before and paid the price.
And
every man has.
That's the only place where they do that. And I feel like it's a way for them to be like, look how strong I am. Look how good of a it's like if you were laying down and your dentist was like, you want me to go at it? It's like, no, no. I want you to delicately scrape the tartar from my teeth and send me on my way. Dude, I don't want you to go balls wild.
I can. I'm strong.
They're like,
I'm just letting you know.
Spicy at the Thai restaurant, and I said,
blind you.
Yes, I want it spicy. And then as she's walking off, I'm like, whoa, white guy spicy. And she goes, okay, all right, white guy spicy, not so crazy. That shit was so goddamn spicy. As I'm like handing her my debit card at the register, I'm looking around like trying to get airflow across my tongue because it burnt it so fucking bad. Oh. I see a bottle of hand sanitizer there, and I'm briefly like, how soothing would hand sanitizer be on my tongue right now? No, that's a mistake, Woody. Don't double down. Don't follow one wrong with another wrong.
So much worse.
But it did cross my mind. like, maybe it looks like aloe, kinda.
That would have
we
been
had
such a
aloe.
mistake. Just, it tastes like it's 80% alcohol or something.